He's serious, Noldren says. I can see it in his eyes. It's the same look that he had when he first told me that he wanted to become my disciple. It hasn't changed one bit since then. This can't be possible, Talmac says in disbelief. I refuse to believe that this is actually happening. Someone needs to wake this man up. You there, the one without any magical powers. I don't know if you're Darren's servant or his advisor, but you seem like a man with his head on his shoulders. Try to make him see reason, please. Yeah, Darren, you should quit the tournament and less competition for me that way. That is kind of funny. I should say that honestly. But Darren Servant, do you have any idea how many times I saved this guy's neck? Did anyone ever tell you that your dwarf henchmen look more intimidating than you? That is also a good one. I really like the first one. I also like the last one. I think I'm gonna go with the last one just in case the first one is kind of problematic if we say that. But yeah. Did anyone ever tell you that your dwarf henchmen look more intimidating than you? What are you, some sort of clown? Talmac says, Darren, if you're going to bring your personal jester to a tournament like this, at least dress him accordingly. That way people would know not to talk to him. You can ignore me all you want, but that won't make the truth go away, I say. Actually, Baron didn't come here with me, Darren says. He joined the tournament by himself, and he's also aiming to win the Magium. He's a participant just like the rest of us. Please tell me that you are joking, Talmac said. This has to be a joke. It's not a joke, Kate says. Take a good look at them, and you will see that from their eyes, that they are not bluffing. They really did both come here to win the tournament. After hearing Kate's words, Talmac keeps turning his head between me and Darren, looking at each of us in turn, as if he is simply refusing to believe what is happening before his eyes. I mean, and it's understandable from his position. I mean, think about it. Like, a person with no magical power and a person with magical power, but it's like there are like 4 super mages competing, and this guy's like not even close to them, and he's competing here. So yeah, that's something. That's understandable. He's a little shocked. Once he finally understands that we are indeed being serious, he completely loses his temper and his face contorts into a snarl. You would compete against me, Talmac shouts furiously as he gets up from his chair, looking at me directly. Me, the Sage of North. He then stops suppressing his magical power for a moment. It feels like the intensity of his aura is hitting me right in the face. As far as intimidating auras go, I've seen better, I say, once I've recovered from the initial shock. You people think this is a game, Talmac says as the eyes are still brimming with fury. Do you all think that this offer I made is something that you can simply refuse? Are you unable to understand the situation you are in? I think we all understand our situation very well, says Talmac, Darren says with a serious tone in his voice. Judging by the terrifying looks that those mages outside were giving us when they saw us traveling alongside Noldren, I'm willing to bet that you've also threatened them in the same way, and that this is the real reason why you have so many people working for you. But these sorts of tactics won't work on me. Is that so? Talmac says as he calms down a bit. Well, Noldren, I hope you won't hate me too much if I kill your old disciple. He is simply leaving me no choice at this point. The boy chose this path on his own, Noldren says. He was given ample opportunity to see reason, but he wouldn't listen. I'm sad that it has to come to this, but there is no other way. It's good to see that you still care, Master Noldren, Darren says with a dark look in his eyes. These 2 fools have already sealed their fate, Talmac shouts as he faces the other members of our team. But the rest of you do not need to die together with them. If you join my side, you will be allowed to live. That's mighty generous of you, Hardrick says with a grin, but I'm afraid that I'm going to have to refuse. What about you, Banshees? Flower, Talmac asks as he looks at Kate and Flower in turn. Are you going to stand by your friend's side and get slaughtered, or will you pick the same choice and live? I did not come here to become a mercenary, Kate says. You're not the first powerful adversary that has threatened us since we arrived in Varathia. You will not be. I think their reasoning has been completely lost because of the fact that they have like constant encounters and near-death experiences with what's his name? Fuck, how did I forget his name? Our big Stillwater man, the main villain of the show so far. Well, villain, I'm not 100% on that, but still, the main guy. What is his name? How did I forget the main guy's name? Fuck, it's like forgetting Barry's name at this point. But I suppose Barry's name is very common, which is ironically kind of funny. But anyway. So because of our encounters with them, we have completely lost our reasoning. Since we have arrived in Varathia, you will not be the last. One Banshee has denied me, but one remained. Talmac says, what do you say, little girl? Will you also make the same reckless choice of your friends? Will you choose the winning side? I think that you might be greatly overestimating yourself, Sage of the North, Eluna says in a dismissive tone. Talmac laughs. So you will all die together then, he says. "Hey, what about me?" Melinda says as she fakes a pleading look in her eyes. "Are you going to kill me too? I'm only a helpless, defenseless maiden who was being escorted to these warriors. I do not want to die." Talmac says, looking as if he only just noticed Melinda was also there. "Oh, I suppose there's no need for you to die with them if you don't want to. Then can I come to your side on the table?" "Of course," Talmac says. "And the other girl can come to this side as well if she wants." "I will stay here," Layla writes as Melinda heads over to the sage's side. The first sage looks a bit confused when he sees the blue writing in the air, but then he understands its significance and he addresses Layla directly. "As you wish," Talmac says. I should have known that you would abandon us with the first opportunity. You got, you traitor." Kate seriously did not pick this up that she is doing well. I suppose Kate doesn't really talk to her. Don't take it personally, Ice Mage," Melinda says with a smirk as she reaches Talmac's side on the table. She places herself beside him. "I did somewhat enjoy traveling with you and your group, but now it's time to move on. I'm sure that I will find other suitable candidates to escort me to Allender eventually." Araka starts to laugh all of a sudden. "What is it that you find so amusing?" Luna says. "Don't you see?" Araka says. "Don't you see what is happening? What is going to happen?" She then starts laughing again. The sage ignores her completely, resumes talking with his loud voice. "Well, it would appear that everyone has chosen their side," Talmac says. "Is there anything else you might want to say before we commence this massacre?" Wait a minute. Something's not right here. Why would Melinda go out of her way to give me a vague message if she was just going to betray us afterwards? Why did she specifically request to join the sage's side? If she just wanted to be safe, she could have just flown away and left us to our fate. Is the stone walls not closed at the top? I was imagining it was closed at the top for some reason. "Just shut up and prepare yourself for battle, will you?" Darren tells the sage as he readies his shield and sword. "No matter how hard I think about it, it still doesn't add up unless..." Araka laughs even louder in the background now. "Then let us begin," Talmac says with a confident grin. "Yes," Melinda says with a smirk. "Let us begin." She then snaps a finger with both her hands at the same time, and all of a sudden, a huge tornado engulfs her and the other 6 mages by her side, sending them flying into the air before they have the time to react. As the twister begins to spin around, round and round, it seems that the base of the tornado is quickly expanding in size with every second. This was her plan all along. I should have known from the very beginning. I knew it, Araka says. I knew that she'd do it the moment she asked her to join the sage's side. The girl is even crazier than the hapless Eti. I'm dying of laughter here. "But why?" it says, seemingly in a state of shock. "Why did she do it? Everyone get back," I shout. "Melinda can't control her powers properly. This tornado may well engulf us too soon if you don't get away from it. Can't control her powers properly," Kate says, confused. "Wait, is that why she never fought together with us in the past? Where she could risk hurting us by accident?" "Yes," I say. "Now let's move." "But you knew about this, then why didn't you tell us?" Kate says as we all move away from the tornado. "Because she asked me to keep this a secret," I say. "Listen, I don't have time to explain now. We'll discuss this in more detail. Flower, we need to fly up there and get Melinda out of the tornado." "What?" Flower says. She asked us to pull her out after she snaps her fingers. "Remember?" I say. "Now, come on, we need to hurry." I raise both of my arms into the air, which signal Melinda's air current to lift me off the ground. Flower then starts her fire jets and we both head upwards while also slowly approaching the tornado. After a few seconds of trying to spot Melinda, we finally locate her as she is spinning continuously along the outer borders of the twister. Confirm that all the mages are still inside the tornado before pulling it out. Yeah, she probably won't die, so let's do that. Come on, let's get her out. Flower says. "Wait," I say. "I want to first make sure that all the other mages are still in there. If they already got out, they might be hiding behind the tornado so they can ambush us when we get close." "Okay, but let's hurry," Haruka says. "I'm not sure how well Melinda can breathe inside the twister. It takes me around 20 seconds, but we eventually manage to locate all 6 enemies. We confirm that they're indeed inside the tornado. Having ensured that there is no ambush waiting for us, we get as close as we can to the twister and I call out to Melinda. "Melinda," I shout when the tornado spins her towards our side. "Can you stretch your hand towards us on the next rotation?" Melinda appears to be holding her breath as instead of answering me, she nods in approval. We wait for her to do a full circle around the tornado. She then, when she gets right in front of us again, Melinda extends her arms in her direction as Flower and I each grab one of the arm and quickly pull her out. After flying together with her for a few dozen more feet in order to make sure that we are far away from the cyclone, we stop for a while so she can catch her breath. "Took you long enough," Melinda says as she starts coughing from all the dust that she inhaled while inside the twister. Sorry, I say. I wanted to make sure that the others were still inside the tornado so that we wouldn't get ambushed. I'm glad to see that you got my message at least, Melindra says. I did get the message eventually, I say. Although it might have been nice if you had made it a little clever. I couldn't risk it, Melindra says. You have had people in that group who would tell when people are lying by studying their auras. I need you to be genuinely shocked at my betrayal for this plan to work. I mean, honestly, this plan would have failed if I was there instead of Barry, because I almost immediately picked it up that she was acting. Because this has happened before with Luna as well. This is the same shit. So obviously I know that.